are now tuned in to the Angela D. Wharton Show, where we talk about love, life, survival, and everything in between. I am your host, Angela D. Wharton, and if you're ready to be inspired and empowered, then let's go, y'all. Hello and welcome to the Angela D. Wharton Show. I am your host, Angela D. Wharton, and I am super duper excited to be welcoming you to episode number 3 of the 2020 series entitled Healing is Possible, but it is a Journey. So on tonight, I am going to be sharing my story of surviving sexual violence. Not only did I survive it, but I overcame it. Because, we all have a story. We all have survived something. Some of you listening and some of you watching have survived sexual violence. You have survived domestic violence. You have survived the loss of a loved one, the loss of your home and foreclosure, the loss of relationships, the loss of a business. We all have a story, and we all are survivors of something. So on tonight, I'm going to be sharing with you my story of survival and giving you some tips and tools so that you can not only survive but overcome and heal from whatever it is that hurt you in your past. So come on, everybody, let's just jump right into it. So for those of you who do not know, I am a survivor of sexual violence at the age of 14. And then again at the age of 24. Both experiences were super duper, it's one of my favorite words, y'all, super duper traumatic. But the last one at 24 was at gunpoint. And this one caused a lot of symptoms as far as stress, psychological issues, depression, low self-esteem, fear, you name it. I went through the gamut. So I wanted to start off by sharing that one of the last things that this person who assaulted me or who raped me, let's just keep it real, who raped me at the age of 24, one of the last things that he said to me was, you bet not scream, you bet not go to the police, you bet not tell nobody, because I know where you live and I know what kind of car you drive. I will find you and I will kill you. And that caused a lot of psychological issues for me, because I thought that this person had somehow found out that I did scream. I did go to the police because I filed a report against him. I did tell someone because I told my mom. And so basically I did everything that he told me not to do. So in my mind, I'm thinking he is going to find me and kill me like he said. So I would not go outside. I would not even go to the windows of my mom's house. I would just stay in the middle of her bed and not even move, because I was so afraid that this person was on the rooftop of the apartment building that's across the street from my mom's house, just waiting to get a clear shot of me so that, so that he could sniper me and just finish me off. So I just spent a lot of time just not being just not wanting to go outside, just being afraid to go outside and get anywhere near the doors or anywhere near the window. So it took a lot of time for me to be able to do that. But I do recall that one time my aunt came down and said, listen, baby girl, we're not doing this anymore. You are coming out of the house. And she basically made me leave the house. But I covered myself completely up with a big coat and a big hood so that when I went outside, he would not see me. So I thought he wouldn't see me. But that's what I did in order to leave the house and get into the car with her. And then once I did feel a little bit better, just a little bit better. But with that, being sexually violated, whether as a child or as an adult, does have a tremendous, the trauma of it has a tremendous impact on your brain, your emotions, on just every single part of you. Uh, I did spend a lot of time living in fear as well. Just like I said, just fear of him finding out where I was and coming back to murder me. Um, for a long time, I would not go into places where and have my back toward the door because I wanted to be sure that I could see everybody and what everybody was doing so that if I needed a way to escape, I could, you know? So my husband and I would not even go to, or I would not allow him to take me to like the AFRAM or not, well, some people don't know the AFRAM, but like festivals where there's big crowds and things like that because I could not watch everybody. And also, this person is still in the streets. He was never caught. So that had a tremendous bearing on the psychological issues that I had, as well as living in fear because I didn't know where he was. So that was something else that I had to overcome. Something else that I dealt with was literally losing my voice, like literally not being able to speak. And that went on for some time after the rape because I just did not want to speak. And it was very hard for me to even utter like simple words. But God, because now I am using my voice to share my story and to empower others. The enemy will not shut me down. Not anymore. Silence is no longer an option. Can I say that again? Silence is no longer an option. So you have to use your voice. You have to speak up and speak out. You have to share your story. That's the only way, or not the only way, but that's one of the first steps to your healing process is to acknowledge that this happened to you and tell somebody. Okay? I spent a lot of time dealing with night terrors. And if anybody knows what night terrors are, then you know that they are horrific. Those are the nightmares, the repeating in my mind, in my sleep, what had happened, his face, the mask, the gun, the woods, him coming back to kill me. I suffered with all of that. Also suffered with suicidal thoughts. Now I'll tell anybody, I am not one for pain. So I would just ask the Lord like every night to not let me wake up the next morning. I would say every night, like, okay, Lord, I'm going to sleep now. I don't want to wake up in the morning. I cannot take this pain anymore. This is too much to bear. Do not allow me to wake up in the morning. And what happened? Yeah. Every single morning, I would wake up again. So that just let me know that God still has a work for me to do. And just like he still has a work for me to do, and I'm still here, God still has work for you to do because you are still here. You survived it. It did not kill you. It may have bruised you. It may have wounded you, but it did not kill you. You're still here. Now, there's so many other things that I dealt with. Low self-esteem issues, trust issues in my relationships. After that, not being able to trust men for a long time, not being able to be in relationships, or dating the same guy, the same type of guy, but with a different name. And I found myself doing that, like being attracted to a certain type of guy, which really wasn't the best type of guy for me. But it was like it was the same person, but with a different name. So when you are a survivor of sexual violence, it causes you to make decisions that may not be the best for you, but it's all as a result of everything that you suffered. Okay? So people ask me oftentimes, Angela, how did you heal? And for me, guys, it's not like it's a 12-step program where step 1 I did this, step 2 I did that, step 3 I did this, step 4 I did that. Nope, not for me. I just made up in my mind that I wanted to be happy. I got tired of being depressed. I got tired of being unhappy. I got tired of having like low self esteem and low self worth, and feeling like I'm not enough and that I'm not worthy of good things to happen to me. I felt like that every single day. And in the meantime, or meanwhile, my friends are moving forward with their lives. But I felt like I was stagnant. I felt like I wasn't moving anywhere. I also felt like a numbness. Like I was just existing, but not living. And so the Bible tells us that we are transformed by the renewing of our minds. So anything that you set forward to do, it takes place in your mind first before you actually take action to get it done. So I made up in my mind that I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm going to be happy. So I started doing things that made me happy. And it's as simple as that. Now, that's my story. That may not work for you, but that was something that I did, along with, of course, spending time with the Lord in prayer and in meditation, also reading scriptures, also going to church, and getting with or fellowshipping with my Christian friends, because that's where you gain strength. So these are the things that really helped me to heal. Now, I will tell you, just like the title says, healing is possible, but it's a journey. So it's not going to happen overnight. Okay? You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be healed. You are going to have your good days, and you're going to have your not so good days. But as time goes on, you will realize that your good days outweigh your not so good days. You know? So the things that help us to heal, as well as scriptures and things of that nature that I did, is having a support system. That's very, very, very important, is having a support system. Your friends, your family, church members, your pastor, your teachers, people who are cheering for you, people who have your best interests at heart. Those are the people who support you. That will be your support system. I will tell you that I had an amazing support system, and I still do. But during those critical first years of my healing process, or my recovering process, I had a great support system in my family and my friends. They all rallied around me, they all encouraged me, they all supported me, and they just let me know that they're there for me. So this is important for us as survivors to heal, because oftentimes we're blamed, we're shamed, we feel guilty. We feel like we had some part in what happened to us. But I want you to understand that you didn't ask to be molested. You didn't ask to be raped. You didn't ask to be sexually assaulted. So I don't want you to blame yourself. I don't want you to shame yourself. Don't carry the problems of that person who inflicted that pain on you. That's their issue. But it did happen to you, and I want you to know that you can heal. If God did it for me, He will most certainly do it for you. Another thing that helped me in my healing process was prayer, definitely. I had to pray to God, to ask Him to help me heal, to help lift this burden from me. God says, bring me your burdens. Come ye all who are heavy labored and burdened, heavy burdened and labored, and I will give you rest. He will give you His peace. You can't do it by yourself. You have got to call on the Lord. whoever your God is, whoever your higher power is. For me, it's Jesus. For me, it's God. So I called on him and he answered. In the middle of the night, when everybody else is asleep, when nobody else is around, I called on the Lord and he answered. Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. Literally, he's always there. Another thing that helped me was therapy. Oftentimes, we don't want to go to therapy because we feel like, it's taboo. But listen, I know that the combination of the Lord, prayer, scripture, and therapy is what really, really helped me to heal. So I urge you to seek therapy. There are a lot of therapists who will, like, if you can't afford it or if you don't have insurance, there are a lot of therapists who will do it on a sliding scale for you, or they will do it pro bono, which basically means for free. So please, please, please seek therapy as well. And give yourself some grace. Again, you'll have good days and you'll have bad days, but give yourself some grace. Say, okay, today was not such a good day, but tomorrow will be better, because it will. Okay? Maybe today was a great day and you want more great days. But embrace the good days and the not so good days, right? Another thing that you could do is not run or hide, or try to hide or try to suppress what has actually happened to you. We have to deal with it in order to heal from it. You can't suppress it, because we know when you suppress it, when you try to act like it didn't happen, or you try to make it magically go away, it never does. And it will rear its ugly head in our lives in some other ways, in the form of self-medication, with drugs, with alcohol, with promiscuity, in the form of cutting. It can also turn into disease, illnesses, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of that. When we harbor these feelings, we hold on to the stress, we hold on to these things that have happened to us year after year after year, we hold on to it, it manifests itself and it will literally kill you. It will literally kill you. So it's very important to release that stress, release those pains, just release it. Something else that helped, and I know this is a hard pill to swallow, but forgiveness. Forgiving those who have hurt you. And not only forgiving them, but forgiving yourself. Because I know for me, I felt that I was kind of angry at myself, mad at myself for not fighting back, for not kicking, not screaming. But when you're met with a dangerous life or death situation, the body has three responses: fight, flight, or freeze. And for me, in my mind, I froze. My brain told me to freeze and basically do everything that he asked me to do in order to survive. And it worked. It was painful, it was stressful, it was traumatizing, but I'm still here. And only by the grace of God am I still here. And only by the grace of God are you still here. So forgiveness, that's a whole nother podcast, which we will get to, because I literally have to spend a whole podcast time on it. But it's very, very important, because forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you, because it unlocks the bondage that we keep ourselves in when we hold the grudge, when we become unforgiving and we hold on to unforgiveness, or we live in unforgiveness. That's a prison. A person that went on and did some other stuff to, unfortunately, some other people, but you're still stuck. It's time for you to get free. It's time for you to be delivered. It's time for you to be healed. You have to do it. It's time now. Now is your time. You've been living in bondage. You've been living in depression. You've been living with suicidal thoughts and attempts, right? Yeah. Yep, I know. It's time for you to break free. It's time for you to be healed. It's time for you to be delivered. Okay? Again, if God did it for me, He will most certainly do it for you. You also have to do things that make you happy. Self care is so important because that's how you find your joy again. That's how you find your happiness again. It's doing things that make you happy. For me, I'm a huge old school rap fan. So if no, I'm a huge Run DMC fan too. So if Run DMC Peter Piper come on, or Sucker MC, which is my all-time favorite old school hip hop song, if those songs come on, oh hold on, and LL, that's my boy, Rock the Bells, those three songs come on, oh I will completely lose it. I mean, dancing, like I know every word, every lyric, all of them. And it really brings me joy to really, you know, rap the songs when they come on. And like I turn it up real loud and everything. And it's just really great for me. I get a lot of joy in that. And that's just me. It may be something else for you. But even with my husband, he's a huge old school hip hop fan as well. So when I'm in my zone and I'm like geeking out to my favorite songs, he will join in. And so we're in the car, we just giving it up, we just giving it up, and it's a lot of it's great fun for us. It's a great release for me as well because we just laugh and we just have a good time. So this is something for you to do as well. You know, for you it might be getting a massage, it might be journaling, it may be reading your favorite book, it may be just going out and sitting by the water or going to a garden and just kind of observing the flowers. That may be something that brings you joy. But it's very important to do those things as well because they are uh, imperative to your healing process. Oh my gosh, I really am excited to be able to be on the show and like bring this information to you because I understand that there's still a lot of survivors who are suffering in silence and feel like there's no way to heal, that there's no way to get out of this place that they're in, that they are stuck in a place of darkness and despair. But I'm here to tell you that you can move to a place of light and love. And that is the place that you want to be because it's the only way for you to pick up the pieces and move forward, to move into a place of light and love. And God is that light and love that will heal you. Okay? Let's see, what else can I share with you? Well, the other thing that I can share with you is that, you know, like I said before, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace because we are our own worst critics. Oftentimes, we will tell ourselves, you know, we'll write a story in our heads that won't even ever happen, and that will prohibit us from moving forward, not only with our healing process, but with anything that we're doing. So just give yourself some grace. It's okay. Breathe. There will be good days and there will be bad days. But I like to look at it like this. Now, how many remember the Flintstones? Barney Rubble, Fred Flintstone, and Betty and Wilma. Well, that is one of my all-time favorite cartoons. I watch it on Boomerang now, or either on YouTube. But anyway, um, you know how Fred worked in the rock pit for Mr. Slate. And you remember those huge boulders that he would lift? Well, for me, Sexual violence, it's like walking around with this huge boulder and it's weighing you down and you're just walking with it and you're everywhere you go you're just like, oh, I'm carrying this thing with me, oh. And then as time goes on and you begin to heal, that boulder gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it becomes this wee bitty pebble that you could just put right in your back pocket, right? And it's always there because you feel it from time to time. It's always there. It never goes away. But over time, it no longer controls you. You control it. Okay? It no longer controls you. You control it. And that's where I am. That's how I can safely say that I am healed, I am delivered, and I am set free from suffering from sexual violence. I am healed, I am delivered, and I am set free. I have moved from victim to victorious. I have moved from being a survivor to an overcomer. I have moved from tragedy to triumph. And like I always say, I have moved from pain to power to purpose. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please, please, please leave me a comment on YouTube or leave me a comment on SoundCloud and let me know if something that I said has resonated with you. Let me know if there's something that really helped you. Like you got something out of this podcast, because I asked the Lord to decrease Angela and increase him before I started this podcast, because I wanted it to be and have an impact on you. I wanted it to be able to help you see things from a different perspective and to give you hope that healing is possible. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, please follow me on all social media. I'm on Facebook under Phoenix Ministries and also under Angela D. Wharton. I am on Instagram under Angela_empowers. I'm on Twitter at Angela Empowers. So please, please, please follow me on all social media. Send me a message. I would love, love, love to hear from you. And please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also subscribe to the SoundCloud channel as well, because I want you to be able to get alerts when I upload the new episodes, because I don't want you to miss an episode. Episode 4 is coming as well. So I want you to be able to get all the information that you need and to not miss an episode. This has been the Angela D. Wharton Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember that I love you, but God loves you best. God bless you. Bye-bye.